Hi all and welcome back. I hope you're doing well today. Let's dive into something that could have massive consequences for the US economy and even global trade. The Supreme Court is now at the center of a huge fight over Trump's tariffs, and if the justices rule against him, things could get, well, catastrophic. That's not my word. That's actually how Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent described it. So, what's really going on here? Let's break it down together. Earlier this year, Trump rolled out his so-called Liberation Day tariffs. The idea was to respond to what he called emergency economic threats, but here's the problem. Lower courts have already said he went too far. They ruled that he misused the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, also known as IEPA, which wasn't designed for this kind of sweeping trade policy. The tariffs might still be in place for now, but that's only because the administration has been appealing the decisions. And now, this whole thing is heading to the Supreme Court. If the High Court sides against Trump, the fallout could be enormous. Secretary Bessent is warning that the government might have to refund companies a huge chunk of the money that's already been collected through these tariffs. We're talking potentially around $159 billion. Can you imagine that? Billions of dollars flowing out of the Treasury back into the hands of importers and corporations. What do you think? Should companies get those refunds, or should the government find another way to handle it? But the worry isn't just about refunds. The uncertainty itself is putting a strain on businesses and markets. Companies are stuck asking questions like, do we pay now and risk not getting money back later? Or do we hold off and risk penalties? And beyond that, there's the bigger question of presidential power. How much authority should one person have when it comes to trade decisions that impact the entire economy? If the Supreme Court rules against the tariffs, Trump might still have other options, like using Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act or Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. But those paths are more limited, slower, and involve more oversight. That raises an interesting question. Is it better for a president to have broad emergency powers to act quickly, or is it safer to have checks and balances even if that slows things down? One of the scariest possibilities being discussed is that a Supreme Court loss could open the door to years of refund litigation. How do you even decide who qualifies for refunds and how much? Would small businesses benefit, or would giant corporations scoop up most of the money? And if the Treasury has to pay out that much, what would it mean for taxpayers like you and me? So here we are, waiting for the Supreme Court to weigh in. The stakes couldn't be higher. Refund chaos, billions of dollars at risk, businesses caught in limbo, and a fundamental test of executive power. No matter how the justices rule, this decision is going to reshape trade policy and set a powerful precedent for years to come. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Supreme Court should uphold the tariffs to avoid chaos, even if they may not be legal? Or do you believe it's more important to limit presidential power, no matter the financial consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love reading your perspectives. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends who follow politics and economics, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future updates on this case and more stories that impact our daily lives. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.